How we doing, folks? Welcome back to the podcast. As you know, we've been away for a wee while. I was in America, and I was being lazy after that when I came back because I don't do jet lag very well at all. So we're back. One thing I'd like to say is while I was in America, I did actually go to an American gym on site, and the place where I was staying, not a gym, they called it a fitness center, and it had possibly the smallest multi-gym in terms of height I've ever seen in my life. It was actually shorter than I was, but it was a good laugh. But as you all know, anybody that knows me and has seen the podcast knows that my two hates in the gym are ego lifters and people that are trying to, intimidate other people coming in. And you'll be pleased to know the same rubbish happens in America. Somebody tried to ego lift and shame me while I was in there. I think they just seen a fat bloke walk in and thought, we're going to go for it. So again, I'm going to say it again right at the start of this video. Stop it. Just stop it. All right. Leave people alone in the gym to do whatever they want. All right. End story. That's me finished my preaching. Anyway, so today we are back with another fantastic gym owner. This time it is Chris Doran, who owns Reaper Grappling. How are we doing, Chris?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. It's currently in here. It's a bit like an accident and emergency ward. The sound man over there is giving himself food poisoning because his girlfriend's away and he's cooking for himself. Chris is torn or hurt, damaged is LCL, and I've got a blister. So definitely like a. I think I've got the worst of all of them.
Definitely agree.
Exactly.
Definitely
You try walking in with a blister. Anyway, right. So, Chris, how you doing, mate? How's it going?
Well, like you said, apart from injuries, good.
Good stuff.
Doing good.
Good. And you're free to talk to us and just talk absolute nonsense.
Brilliant.
Good. That's what we're looking forward to. So, anyway, let's pretend I know nothing about Reaper Grappling.
Cool.
Tell the world all about Reaper Grappling.
So, do you want it from the beginning?
Whatever you feel.
Okay, cool. So, Reaper Grappling, martial arts gym, for people that don't know. Originally started out just as a company that was going to be just for apparel, hoodies, t-shirts, rash guards and shorts for people that don't know what they are. It just protects you from getting skin ailments when you're grappling. From there, it kind of just snowballed, left the gym that I was actually at and just decided we were just going to go with it. So we bought mats, got a space, kitted it out, and 4 years, well, let's kind of like fast forward 4 years. 4 years now, we're a fully established gym. We've got a strength and conditioning suite, we've got Thai boxing, very good coaching. We've got mixed martial arts. We've got no gi jiu-jitsu. We've got wrestling. We've got strength and conditioning. We've got everything. So yeah, we've just kind of like went from just a room with mats or clothing to now a full functioning gym.
Fantastic. There we are. Now, what I'm going to tell you is I do know about Reaper Grappling, obviously, and Chris has been very modest here with how his business started. Chris started in the back of somebody else's shop. It was actually a furniture shop that he got a bit of space from and put up a fake wall so that he could do it. So when he says he went from nothing and just did it, he genuinely did. It wasn't even a proper gym. It was the back of somebody else's shop, probably what should have been their storeroom.
Yes.
And that's how Reaper started. As you say, fast forward a couple of years, made it all through COVID, successfully, is now arguably one of the, if not the best grappling gym in the west of Scotland, if not the whole of Scotland.
We're definitely coming up. We've got quite high level coaches. So again, people that don't know, it's not a big, it's like a niche sport. So it's not like everywhere. It's not well known. It's only kind of coming up now because of the UFC. That's how it kind of it get its kickstart in Scotland. Before there was probably like a handful of gyms. There's now gyms popping up everywhere, but we've kind of like taxed the best coaches that we could find. So we've got gyms or coaches from Marcos Nardini's. We've got coaches from higher level coming in. We're just trying to get the best of the best to bring up the standard to be what it should be in Scotland. So
working.
It's definitely working now.
Definitely working
now. Yeah.
I was actually on your website earlier, looking because I like to obviously do a little bit extra research because obviously a lot of the guys we've spoken to, people know in my day job I've known these guys for a while. and I know the basics about you. It's not often I get the chance to go and actually let's investigate who is Chris, what's he doing, and everything else. And it was the apparel on your website. The fact that there's virtually nothing at the moment. There's one rash suit, I think. And the rest of it's like gloves and training. So what's happened to the apparel?
So what we've done is we pigeonholed ourselves with most of our branding being for Reaper. So again, trying to be better business minded. We've rebranded into a company that I've now started called Enclave, which is now my clothing brand. So we've taken everything away that was Reaper branded, because then we could only sell to our members. So if we only had 100 members, it's only 100 sales. We're not talking big volume. We're not talking big money. So I'm taking everything down and rebranding it to Enclave. That then means that I can now take all the rash guards that I've previously ran in club that I know work, that have sold, that have been popular, and we can now sell it to all the clubs out with and further afield. So we're just in the rebranding stage right now currently. So
fantastic. So very shortly we'll be able to get t-shirts, hoodies, shorts, the whole shooting match. So I've actually also went down, because of the Enclave route, we've went down clothing totally, not just for gym apparel. So I've now branched out to, I've got combat trousers, we've got fleeces, we've got two different types of fleeces, the Teddy fleece, and we've got a micro fleece, kind of similar to like the North Face styles. Cool.
We've got obviously our t-shirts or jumpers, we've got beanie hats, we've got caps, we've got everything, but we're trying to be fashionable, not just like we've got a plain black, like, no, we're looking for proper fashion. So
cool, fantastic. Well, that's something for me to look forward to anyway.
We're bringing it forward. So
good stuff. And I'm not sure if we're going to talk about it, but we know there are some real exciting things about to happen or happening very shortly to the gym. So keep watching, guys. Reaper Grappling is about to become something much bigger than it currently is. And to be fair, it's big enough as it is. So loads there to come. Right, great stuff. So, okay. Let's start talking nonsense. Okay. That's the sexy bit out of the way. we know all about your business. At the end, you can tell us how they can get in contact with you and stuff like that. No, but let's have a chat that people will actually want to listen to. All right. So 99% of people in the world at some point have done a karate class. You know, I think even my two eldest kids had the real passport, and I think they went for about 3 weeks or something like that. I think I did karate for about 3 weeks as well. Everybody's like 3 weeks. I'll go. I don't look like it, or they stick into it. So you don't offer karate.
Nope.
What is the difference then between karate and jiu-jitsu, and why should they take it up with you and not just go down to a local community centre?
Well, obviously a couple of reasons. I never really want to actually like completely down any martial art, but when we're talking about karate, especially like kind of older style, it's like katas, it's practice, preordained moves that rely on you having a guy run at you a certain way, or somebody like try and punch you straight or hook you in a certain way. It doesn't, you know yourself, it doesn't happen like that. So with the likes of jiu-jitsu and MMA, it's organic. So it can happen anyway, and every person that comes, even when they get shown a set movement or technique, they run with it and change it to their own. Like somebody could be 6'3", that technique doesn't work, so they then need to go and kind of adapt it, evolve it. It will work, and it will work on the streets. Not saying karate won't. Like if you take a guy that's trained karate and put him in against a guy that's never ever trained, he's got a better chance than a guy that's never trained. But you put a guy that's done karate for 15 years and you put him against a guy that done jiu-jitsu for 2 years, the guy that's done karate is getting wasted, unfortunately. He's getting absolutely wasted. So
that's fine by me. I don't care. As I say, 3 weeks I did my karate for that.
No, like,
that was it.
I even I've got a good friend, Curtis, who does boxing as well, and even we did a bit of training, and he's boxed for years, really, really good, very strong, very, very strong, ex-army as well. And he thought, he said to me at the end, he's like, I thought boxing was like the god tier, and he's like, and I rolled with you for 5 minutes, he's like, you must feel like a god. And I'm like, I don't know, like, explain why. And he's like, because at any moment you could just do what you wanted. You could choke me, you could strangle me, or you could break my arm. And I'm like, yeah, but I suppose I'm training with people that could do the exact same back to me, so you don't feel it. But so aye.
Absolutely, it's much more dimensional, isn't it? That's obviously I train boxing, and it's in terms of a single sort of action.
Yes,
it's definitely up there.
Yes,
you know.
yeah.
But I think that's the thing, isn't it? Jiu-jitsu, MMA, and all that, everything that goes alongside it, it's not a single anything. And like, I think, you know, when you see like the really good guys, the top of their peak guys, you know, that perform in the UFC and or UCF, what is it called?
UFC.
UFC. I got it right the first time. There you go. Not bad. You know, it's not just one thing. You know, they're not good on the floor.
No.
You know, more than they're good standing up. They can kick. They can do whatever. So much more.
Yeah, you've got multifaceted. Yeah, and if you're looking at quite a lot of the UFC guys just now, two things actually. Jiu-jitsu is like really, really important, but most of the people that are actually champions right now have got a boxing background and a wrestling background. So they're the two arts right now that are kind of, if I was to push an art on someone,
right,
boxing and wrestling. Yeah. Because the stance is the same. If you're a wrestler, you've got good power. If you've got a boxer, you're a good power. So, yeah.
I feel great.
Actually, yeah, you're just get a bit of wrestling in and you're sorted.
There was a sentence I was going to follow that with, but it's a family show, so I'm not going to bore.
Yeah.
There we are. Plus the fact my son's listening to me, so you don't want to hear that sentence either. There we are. All right, good stuff. So everybody can get along, do MMA, do a bit of jiu-jitsu, you know, become the next Conor McGregor, hopefully without the attitude, guys.
Yes.
But there we are. Okay, so let's get back to what I was talking about in the intro about ego lifting and people trying to intimidate folk in the gym. I'm assuming you have exactly the same views on it as I do. 99% of PTs and gym owners will have exactly the same view, but it's amazing how many gyms you go into and they're not doing anything about it.
Yes.
So in yours, obviously I was on your website, looked at all the reviews and everything else, and every single review, I think just nearly 100% of them all mentioned how good it felt to be in there and how welcome everybody was and everything else. So how do you make sure that you know, it carries down through your gym?
For me, there's two reasons for that. And I'm not going to down like any commercial gym because it's good to have gyms. However, everybody in commercial gyms that are jacked all think they can fight.
Yeah.
Everybody in a martial art gym knows they can fight. So they don't have an ego. Most don't have egos. So when people come into the gym, it's a really, really inviting atmosphere. Like everybody wants to make sure you're comfortable, bring you in, but we foster that specifically in the gym. Like that's one of the things that I've learned anyway, especially being in commercial side when I was a personal trainer and being in different martial arts clubs. When you start to kind of see people coming through the door, it's important for us to obviously make them feel welcome, but keep that continuation going. As soon as someone comes in, the same way that I greeted the first person that came at my club, they pass that down. So it's like a kind of hierarchy of making sure people are comfortable and they're paying their bills as well. Like these people are paying your bills, so they should be treated equally. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, yeah, everybody, especially for me, like if you go into some martial arts gyms as well, it's coach or sir or it's mate. I'm an equal. You're an equal. We're all the same people. So that's like the biggest thing for me is making sure everybody's on the same level, regardless of who you are.
Good. That's it. It is amazing, as I say, the number of gym owners and head PTs and head coaches and stuff like that. That, you know, I've had this conversation with, and they say, "Oh yeah, no, I absolutely hate it, And I said, "Well, I was in your gym last week, and I was made to feel like I was inadequate."
Yeah.
You know? Oh, really? Who was that? That's my hurt was the very fact that it happened.
It happened. Yeah.
You know, you should be on top of that. And commercial gyms are probably the worst for it.
Yeah.
However, there's a few private gyms I know of in the Renfrewshire area, let's say, that I've got a poor reputation for it. But hey, do you know what? If that's the way to run their business.
The thing is, people leave and we take them.
Absolutely.
That's the way we look at it.
The good gyms get them.
That's it.
Great stuff. Fantastic. All righty. So that's cool. Obviously, before we started the cameras and everything else, we were having a chat about the nonsense that's out there. The TikTok videos on, you need to do this to lose weight. You need to do that to put on muscle. You need to do this and everything else. So what I'm looking for from you is what is the most annoying thing you've seen on TikTok at the moment that you think if you could get hold of that person, you'd strangle them?
See, to be honest,
apart from all of it, you can't say all of it.
I know. It's a struggle to pick one because there's so many. But I think one of my pet peeves is the people that are just out to make money with these teas and tummy wraps and brews and pills and lotions. Like that for me is just, it's preying on people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like at least some people that are giving training advice that might be wrong, they're still trying to give training advice. Yeah. They're still trying to get people in a gym. That's the right thing to do. But these people that are saying they've lost, 10 pounds because they've drank skinny tea. No, we've definitely not. You've maybe lost like a bit of bloat because you're not eating any food. You're just starving yourself. That's just a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
In disguise of snake oil. So for me, that's my biggest pet peeve is, it's bad watching people give bad advice in terms of training, but I just hope they're misguided more than they are actually just kind of getting out there to make money. But people that are just praying, that's the worst for me.
That's it. And it is amazing that you see all these things, and then I don't know how many times there's always some doctor such and such has said that if you drink this tea,
really? There's always a fit.
Of course, that's right. Oh, I've been doing it wrong my entire career.
Specially formulated, all that, like these buzzwords. That's the killer.
Absolutely fabulous, great stuff. All right, and what advice would you give somebody then about food and eating and everything else?
God, this is like quite a hot topic for me. Obviously, the biggest thing is just creating a calorie deficit, as you know, like whether that be through nutrition, dieting, or whether that be through just being more active, getting your exercise in, getting your NEAT up. It's really simple. Like if you actually just look at it, I know the guidelines, the kind of government guidelines are 2,500 for a male, 2,000 for a female. They're actually not that far off. So if you just take like a little bit of calories away from that, you're going to lose weight. The biggest problem though, and you probably see this yourself, is it's the people that are on a diet or looking to lose weight, they're impatient. So they want a quick fix, and this leads back to the tea, the wraps, the ab toners. Like people just want the results yesterday. So that for me is like we're losing kind of track of what we should be doing, and it's just being consistent. Absolutely,
I do wholeheartedly agree. The only way to lose weight is to be in a calorie deficit. Yeah. You can make that calorie deficit, as you say, by reducing your calorie intake, or you can make that a calorie deficit by increasing your output. Yeah. Whichever is easier for you, do it. Here's one for you then. Calorie deficit.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you say, that depends who you read. For an adult male, it does range between 2.2 and 2.5. Yeah. Depending on which medical expert has given you that one. What would you say then is the minimum a middle-aged man should be eating in terms of calories? He wants to lose a bit of weight, but obviously, forget he's going to the gym. What's the actual minimum calories?
I'll actually give you like a really good example. My dad, right, great example currently. So he had a little bit of health scare, nothing serious. Went to the doctors. My dad's like mid-50s, doesn't train, never trained in his life, right? So goes to the doctors. They give him a sheet away, right? It was like a 5-page sheet by Alpine, and it's about fats, right? So he's obviously had his cholesterol done. Get a bit of a scare. Cholesterol's high, you need to lose weight. So they give him this sheet to follow, and it's about oily fish. That's good, omega-3s, we want that. Walnuts, we want that. But unfortunately has no idea about calories. So I let him get on with it for a week, and I'm like, how are you getting on with your diet? I'm not losing any weight. I'm like, okay, cool. 10,000 steps a day. That was my only advice, 10,000 steps a day, which he did. So we went to Morrison's, and I was like, let's do a wee comparison of what you would normally like to eat to what you've now been eating. So I'll take a sip of water. So he picks his oily fish up, his veg, and some potatoes, and I pick him up a steak, some potatoes, some veg, and his one meal came up to 1,300 calories. A handful of walnuts took him up to 1,900 calories because he was eating a handful, right? Suggested, how big's a hand?
Yeah, aye.
Whose hand? It could be exactly whose hand. So I put him on a 2,000 calorie, nothing mental. we're still within range. Put him on 2,000 calories. My dad's got a sedentary job. He sits at a desk.
Right.
So just 10,000 steps a day, 2,000 calories. He lost 1.5 stone within 3 weeks.
That's it. That is perfect. So I've had a few people recently that have spoke to me. Oh, I'm in a calorie deficit. I'm having 1,600 calories a day. We're talking about a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
I've had in their 20s, same sort of idea. And then same thing I say to them all is, oh, have you got emergency surgery coming up?
Yeah.
You know, there is no reason to be eating that little when you're a man. None whatsoever. Unless you're about to go for emergency surgery and you need to lose shed loads of weight in a very short space of time.
Yes.
I don't know how many times I need to say this to folk. Calorie deficit. You're right. Around about 2,000 is fine for a man who's active. You say doing 10,000 steps. Yeah. You don't need to be going to the gym 5 times a week and doing 3-hour workouts. Why you would do a 3-hour workout at any point? It's beyond me. But you know, just be sensible. Yeah. That's it. And stop listening to these muppets on TikTok that have just showed you a 14,000, 1,400 calorie deficit.
The problem with that is as well, the whole point of trying to lose weight is to lose much fat as possible while losing minimal muscle. When you start getting into these 16,000 or 1,600 calorie deficit or calorie restricted diets, you're losing more muscle. Yeah. Especially if you're not training, you've not got your protein intake, you're not getting that protein synthesis turnover. So you might lose a stone, but you're losing a lot more muscle mass and you're becoming frailer and your metabolism's crashing. So we're actually getting worse than we were before.
Absolutely. Great. Cool. So there we are, guys. That's 2 of us that have now said it. I'm pretty sure, what's his name? Kevin McIntyre basically said he doesn't mind his guys going out for a pint and a pizza at the weekend.
No, you've earned it.
Exactly. So, how many times do we need to tell you, you do not need 14, 16, whatever. 2 is plenty as long as you're being a bit active. End of story. Right. Good. That's that done. So talking about that then, what about supplements? Where are we with them?
So the only supplements I would really kind of recommend is creatine right now. Like that, it's obviously whey protein, right? Whether or not you'd use clear whey, which I think is actually way more digestible and palatable. But like the biggest thing is creatine, but not just for obviously muscle mass, for the neuroprotective effects for people with dementia. We've got to start looking into, especially right now we're talking about supplements, but are we talking about supplements for just training? Are we talking about supplements to live a healthier lifestyle throughout until we're 80, if we manage to live to 80?
Whichever, because I think there's a massive crossover between the two of them.
Exactly. So there is. So for me, like the most studied is obviously creatine monohydrate, 100%. All absorbed. Really, really essential, especially if you're vegan and vegetarian, because you're not getting any from red meat. Whey protein would be definitely one. Right now, I'm not buying into the hype of these mushrooms. I don't know if you've seen these recently. Lion's mane, cordyceps. Yes, I've actually read the studies. I've looked at the studies. The studies are really, really old. Of course, they've got like, they do have positive effects, but they've also got negative effects. But when we're looking at it, you need to look at the studies and be like, how much is it actually affecting us? Yep. The main thing for me over supplements is, before we even look at that, should we be taking off sleep? Should we be taking off what we just spoke about, nutrition, hydration, stress levels? If everything's perfect and on the plate, minimal supplements. If we're looking at, we've got an active lifestyle like ourselves, the training, you're going to be getting a lot of free radicals and high stress from lifting, from running businesses, from day-to-day life, then I would definitely be recommending, obviously, omega-3s. I would definitely recommend vitamin D3 and K. We'd be looking at, obviously, creatine and whey, and that's pretty much my list. Like, it's comprehensive, but you can fit it on 5 fingers. So
yeah, do you know what? I'm glad you said that, because literally that's what I take.
Yeah, that's us.
I have my whey. I have... Because I'm not a big fish fan, I do take cod liver oil supplement, because fish is a thing for me. I've never been good at it.
Don't eat fish myself.
Not
a fan.
So, and I take my creatine every day. And I put it in my whey protein, and that's it.
That's easy, simple, done
and dusted. One drink, bang, and away you go. Clear whey is becoming much more. available.
Yes.
I think it's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. Well, you're going back to like even 5 years ago, there was nothing on the market at all. And then they've obviously got the clear whey protein and I don't know if you've ever tried the clear beef protein.
I haven't.
Much better.
All right.
Really nice.
Maybe
really
give
nice.
that a shot.
Yeah, it's good. Again, just exactly the same as whey, but it's slightly less. It doesn't leave you with a taste after.
Right.
So
Okay. I'll give that a shot. I don't have a favourite protein provider.
Nah,
as well.
near the arm. Who's giving me the best deal?
Exactly. That's it.
It's expensive enough, so
it is. Yeah. And clear's still a bit up there in the price range.
Because it's new, so they're going to milk it. Yeah.
The more of you to buy it, the cheaper it'll get.
Yeah.
End of story.
That's it.
It's the same with everything, isn't it?
Supply and demand.
Yeah. Good stuff. Cool. There we are. So anyway, you don't need to fill yourself full of nonsense. Eat well. Do your 10,000 steps if you can't get to the gym, or both if you can.
Yeah.
And ignore the rest of that garbage that you'll read about how many nutritions and bloody this and that you have to take, and you just don't need it.
No. If you're not taking off your sleep and all that stuff first, forget the supplements. You can throw as much as you want. It's not going to make a difference.
Absolutely. So on sleep, that's a good one, actually. There's the first time I've seen it, right? Obviously, we always get the 8 hours sleep, 8 hours sleep, 8 hours sleep. I saw a study not so long ago, must be about 2 months ago now, actually, where they were looking at sleep and they were saying the average adult needs between 6 and 8 hours. However, if you're an athlete of any sort, they're now recommending between 8 and 11 hours sleep for an athlete.
Okay.
So that means basically every teenager is now an athlete.
I'm sure my daughter would argue with that. But she sleeps, but she doesn't move.
The other thing about that is as well, I mean, those of us that live in the real world.
Yes, yeah.
How the hell do you get 11 hours sleep?
It's impossible.
How do you do
it's
that?
Impossible.
You
There's
know,
no way.
That's mental.
Yes.
I'd like to be able to make sure I got 8 every night. You know, but you know, that's it. When you're running the business, you're trying to do all this stuff. You're trying to be healthy and you get to the gym and you've got a family, and then somebody's now telling me, "Oh, you're an athlete. You need 11 hours sleep."
Yeah, you need 3 more extra hours.
From where?
Yeah.
You know, is the day now 30 hours long? Because that's the only way I'm getting it.
I know. If only. I know. Aye, definitely not. I was in uni, so I did sports science in uni. And there was a different, again, I've not looked at much studies recently in sleep, but they did, or a guy did actually bring out, I don't know if you've heard of the 90 cycle. So especially for athletes as well, you sleep in 90-minute cycles.
Yes.
Okay, so like another take on that was, even if you get poor sleep, as long as it's in a unit, they call it, is 90 minutes. So even if you get 7.5 hours sleep, that's 3 units or 4, whatever it is in terms of units, you're still going to wake up feeling better because of your REM, your light sleep, and then your deep sleep cycles. I've seen the studies, we've looked at it in uni. I've never tried it myself, but the guy that invented it also sold mattresses, so he might know something, but he might also have a 90-minute mattress somewhere to sell. But anyway, I don't know. So that was another one that they came up with. So
no, I have heard of the cycle.
The cycle, yeah.
Okay,
well, if you wake up at 8 hours, you'll feel grumpy, but if you wake up 7.5, you feel smashing. No, I never feel great when I wake up, regardless.
No, not do I, especially at the moment because of the jet lag. I'm still struggling. I want to be back. I've been back over the week.
When's it going to settle in?
Exactly. I'm trying to be good, and I'm not trying to take the melatonin to get a good night's sleep. I'm just trying to get back in it. But
naturally.
I may have to give in if I'm honest. I need a decent night's sleep. So yeah, cool. But anyway, today was my first day back in the gym as well. Back here, so I'm feeling energized and ready to go. So I enjoyed it. I was surprised at how light things were feeling that I went into the gym. I mean, that's 4 weeks. I didn't really do any. I mean, I have to say, I went 4 times to this pathetic little thing. And one time I was just literally trying to shut somebody up. So I wasn't actually training. I was just lifting as much as I possibly could to make them feel bad because they were trying to make me feel bad. So I was really, really surprised on just how much it didn't affect me. And the lack of sleep. Don't get me wrong, I tone things down a little bit.
Yeah.
But what's your view on that then? So people that miss and skip sessions and things like that.
We've kind of got a culture here most of the time. I'll say the culture's a Monday to Thursday culture, where it's Monday to Thursday we're in smashing, especially in the gym, knocking our pants in. It's not so much for me now because I've got a coach and I do train more like an athlete, even though I don't compete as much. I still train like an athlete. But we've got a culture here where it's Monday to Thursday we knock our pan in, and then Friday, if you're going out, it's a wee disco pump, and then for the rest of the weekend we're undoing everything we've just done. So for me, like, my coach now gives me like a bit more of for me, I would usually be like, no, I need to do it. I need to do it regardless. I feel terrible. I've had no sleep. My baby's kept me up. Whatever it may be, I'll still go in and do it, and it'll be subpar. But sometimes you'll leave feeling, actually, do you know what? I had no expectation. That was the best session I've had all week. Yep. And your numbers will still go up, but it's the knock-on effect 2-3 days later. Is the fatigue caught up? Is your sleep been poor after that? So maybe actually reining it in and not training could be a good thing. Really, for me, it's down to the individual and whether or not you can handle stress and the amount of stress that you're used to handling. If you can't handle stress, I would definitely say, listen, just take an extra day rest. What's a day? You know what I mean? I know we have 7-day weeks, but your body doesn't know it's training in 7 days a week. So why do we need? We're kind of sticking to that. Like, oh God, if I don't get my Wednesday session in, I can't train Thursday night. You know what I mean? So, sometimes it's better just reining it in. But you should know your body if you've been training for a while. Like, okay, what can I do? I've only had 6 hours sleep, or I've had 5 hours sleep, or I've been jet lagged. Actually, maybe a session might make me feel a wee bit better. But like you're saying, take 10% of your loading off.
Absolutely. That's
Continue
it.
To train.
No, fantastic, good stuff. That's exactly what I did. I went in and I dropped the weights down and I went, actually, do you know what? That feels
pretty good.
Feels good. Yeah. I feel really strong, good. And I think, but I think the best thing that I did was not to put the weight up.
Yes.
Just continued with that session as I'd planned it.
Yeah.
And just, but no, don't. Yes, I probably could have lifted, but would I have failed? And then where I have gone?
Well, this is it. And then it's that mental side, like, oh no, like maybe I should have just reined it in. Or what if you end up injured? This is the only thing. Like,
touch wood. This is the first time I've been injured for a while.
yeah. So
apart from my blister.
The blister. I've got to keep that in there. But so what's the effect? It's like, the way my coach puts it, my coach is Mark McQueen. He's the best coach I've ever had. He couples his days together. Mm-hmm. So for me, like, this is a really good take on training that I hadn't really done before. When I first trained, I was spacing my days out. So like I was training 5 days a week. So it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, weekend off to recover. And then I started doing jiu-jitsu on top of that. So it was still like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday lifting, and then adding in jiu-jitsu. So then I was like, well, if I spread these days out, it's not as heavy in terms of training, but I was only getting a couple of days rest. So what then my coach introduced me to was those high, low and medium stress days, which is like Monday might be a medium stress day, just lifting. Tuesday, really high stress day, that's lifting, it's drilling, it's sparring, maybe even a wee bit of cardio as well. And then Wednesday, it's a complete rest day. So that's a medium high and then a low stress day. And then I'm back into the week again with another high stress day, which is Thursday, lifting, wrestling, sparring, jiu-jitsu, followed by another day off. So I was getting 4 days off and I was only lifting 3 days.
Sounds like a plan.
That worked so much better for me. I was less redlining, less fatigue, less injuries. And again, that goes back to knowing your body and knowing what's right. And that was implemented well for me.
That's it. That's it. That is absolutely. I mean, everybody's different. We've all got different bodies. We're all doing it for different reasons. We briefly spoke about that before we turned the cameras on, about what works for one person doing one sport is unlikely to work for somebody else doing a completely different sport.
Yeah.
Especially if that sport is like mine, like strongman stuff. I still need to do some cardio.
Yes.
And let's absolutely kill that rumor right now. If you do cardio, you lose strength. No. Shut up. No, you don't. And honestly, the next person that tells me that, I'm going to slap him.
Nah, please.
Because it's doing my nutting.
I'll show you how to take them down.
Actually, I'll need to come for that. But honestly, where does that come from? Where does that come from? If you do cardio, you'll get weaker.
People are still living with the old school mentality of, yeah, like it's extra energy expenditure, you know, like we need to put every little bit of energy into lifting. It's far for the truth. Like if your mitochondria and ATP energy systems are much better, you can handle a much higher volume of training and recover better.
Absolutely.
So like you said, a little bit of cardio can go a long way for a powerlifter or a strongman athlete. So
well, I watched a YouTube video with Mitch Hooper, currently the world's strongest man.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the video and it was like that, and dispelling the cardio myth, where he was running on a treadmill in 75-second intervals.
Right, okay.
And he's the world's strongest man, telling you to run.
Yeah.
You know,
it's got a point now.
It's still, I find it absolutely mental, and it's the same with people saying, "Oh, you can't lose weight and just do cardio." So that's my front door going off there. Clearly, I've not put my phone on silent.
Pretend that never happened. Cut that.
Exactly. we'll go back. You can't lose weight by doing cardio. No, I can't lose weight by doing cardio. You might not lose weight, but is Mo Farah fat?
Definitely not.
You know, all of this nonsense about you can't do this and get this and you can't do that. No, you can't do that and get to be a powerlifter if you're Mo Farah. You know, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And the same as, you know, the other way around. He's not going to be a powerlifter training the way he lifts. So is there a right or wrong way of training? There's clearly some wrong ways of techniques.
Yeah.
You know, but right or wrong way of training, for me, no, as long as it's the right way for the reason you're doing it. Yeah. It's the same when we obviously both do strength stuff. I'm still a bit old fashioned and I do short multi-sets. You're one set to fail. Is that right? Or have you...
It depends. So we'll go through blocks. The way my program's periodized, we'll go through like volume blocks, and then it'll go into strength blocks and then peak blocks. But sometimes I'll get like a wee AMRAP set at the end, so it'll just be like one to failure, especially like lat pull down. Just try to like, especially if I'm trying to get like a bit of volume in or a bit of growth in the lats, then yes, we'll start to like up the reps, or we'll do like a big failure set at the end. But like you said, like it's never one size fits all, and it'll go from program to program. So usually it'll be like judged on how I'm performing. Is my bench being brought up? We're going to need to do more volume through the chest, or more accessory work to bring up those key areas that are making my bench lack. So
fabulous.
Pretty much.
Good. There we are. So we've agreed. Don't take the mick out of people in the gym. Leave them alone. Stop even looking at them. Just let them be, unless you're helping them. End of story. We don't need supplements. We don't need a 1,600 calorie deficit. And just train the way you need to for yours. Stop watching other people that are doing a completely different sport to you, because it probably won't work. It's dead simple, isn't it? When you just say it like that.
Yeah.
That's it, you know. And yet we've got 4 million people on TikTok making money out of selling us differently.
Actually, so I'll come back to that quickly. I do have one that's just right there, as you said, that's came into my head. What I don't like, actually, my pet peeve now is especially on social media. I don't know if you've seen much of it. It's people that are trying to be so different. They're hating on everything. They're hating on, like, I'm not going to even name any names because I'm not really interested in that. But, you know, people hating on using bands, using foam rolling. Like, you want to use that as a warm-up. If that gets you into like a mindset routine, use it. Like, for me, that's like just try to differentiate yourself for likes and follows. And it's just nonsense. That's actually probably my biggest pet peeve now.
There you are. Good. That's it. Because I'm a fan of bands.
I use them all the time.
And you're right. I've said on this podcast before as well. It's probably the most underrated piece of equipment in the gym. And yet you've got folk on there saying, "Oh, they're useless, they don't do anything." No, they do.
Yeah.
You know? Especially in my sport, if you look at any behind-the-scenes video, a pre-competition video, every one of the strong men are using bands to warm up. Every single one of them. You know, so he's about to go and lift. maybe a 400 kilo deadlift, and he's got a 20k band.
And who are you to tell him that that's wrong?
Exactly. That guy's getting paid to do that. He's getting paid to lift stupidly heavy weights,
Yep.
And all of a sudden you think, no, don't use bands, as you say.
Useless. Okay, right, argue with that then.
Exactly, but there we are. Great stuff. Anyway, right, we have been rolling on and on and on, and the Sandman is now telling me that we are going to be the longest podcast in history. So we need to wrap it up there. How do people get in touch with you? What's the best way for them?
Most simplest way is just Google search Reaper Grappling. We've got our website, reapergrappling.co.uk. We've got our Instagram, Reaper Grappling. That's it.
Reaper Grappling.
Just search it and you'll find it.
Not difficult. And I searched it today and found it. We'll maybe have to come back and speak to you again at some point, Chris, because I wanted to touch on your own personal career. Mm-hmm. I did a little bit looking today, and I can't remember what the website was, but you won a gold medal last year. Mm-hmm. You won both your fights and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's not always been as good as that, has it?
No. we learn.
That's it. Sorry, I know I said I was calling it quits, but I need to get this over. In my sport, a Masters is 50 plus.
Right, okay. Yeah.
And yours is 30.
30, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You're over the hill at 30.
We're over the hill at 30. Listen, you try and roll with a young, feisty 20-year-old. These wee guys have got energy for days. So us old folks, once you've done jiu-jitsu and you've had every bone broke or joint manipulated, you're like, although I'm 30, I'm like 60 really.
I feel fair enough. I suppose absolutely.
But then it's the same with lifting. It's just as taxing on the real joints as well. So
I suppose if you've lifted for long enough, you build up that resistance as well, don't you? But it's funny because Kevin, when he was in, we were talking to Kevin about his loss to Kell Brook.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And that's what he said. He walked into the gym, walked into that match thinking, 20-year-old wee boy, I'm going to smack him around. And then forgot, of course, he's 20. He's going to smack me around.
He's getting energy and hungry.
Absolutely. So there you go. It is amazing. When I see that, I did go, 30, and you're done.
I know.
My word.
And then it's like Masters 2's 35. And
that's mental. Mental.
But thank God, because then I'm not getting battered off the kids.
You've got somebody else coming and going, listen, take it easy. Dodgy hip.
Yes.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Well, Chris, it's absolutely been brilliant talking to you. It's very rare that we get people in here that have got almost exactly the same mindset as myself. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like looking in a mirror as well, obviously. No, it's not. That's because I've got hair on top.
I'm just jealous.
The beard.
Big Santa beard, but I'm going with it here.
Yeah, fantastic. Chris, thank you very much for your time.
Anytime.
Guys, if you want to go along to Scotland, literally, or certainly the west of Scotland anyway. I don't know much about Edinburgh because it's Edinburgh, so who cares?
There is a lot of good gyms. That East Coast, good.
Good. They are. Care about Edinburgh. So now, honestly, Reaper Grappling is absolutely up there with the in the pinnacle of grappling. Get yourself along there if you're interested in MMA. That's the place to be in this area. In addition to that, they obviously do the strength stuff, and very shortly you better buy some snazzy clothes that go with it as well.
Correct.
Correct. Which is now called Enclave and not Reaper Grappling. So you can wear them in any gym, and they'll ask you where you got it from, and you'll better say.
And then you can buy them from me.
Absolutely. Chris will take your money. Brilliant. Listen, thanks very much, Chris.
Pleasure.
Really, really great speaking to you as always. And as we did briefly mention, big things to come for Reaper Grappling.
Yeah.
So follow them on their Insta. Watch out for their stuff on their website, but get yourself along there. All right. Cheers, guys. Thanks for listening to us talk nonsense.
Thanks a lot.
And we will catch you again soon. And just remember, everything is easier with a smile.